demonstration in Washington, D.C. on September 19, 1981, in the midst of another deep recession where the workers were suffering. See, by the way, our party was there, and we were handing out a leaflet. I don't know if some of you veterans remember what that leaflet was about. It was encouraging the workers to occupy, not to leave D.C., but to occupy. See, and the whole idea, I think, of the article was to say, well, see, the unions are weak, and this is pretty much what they have. What would Marx think of that? I think Marx would say, no, Occupy is not replacing the labor movement. But its development is a sign that the working class is beginning to move in a very radical anti-capitalist direction. Last, but not least, I want to tell you how Marx viewed the development of unions. He saw them roughly in three phases, and Lenin agreed, and so did most revolutionary theorists and organizers and activists. The first phase of trade unions under capitalism corresponded to the level of production. That was crafts workers and artisans who mostly worked with their hands, very skilled workers. They organized guilds to fight for their interests. The next phase was far more significant. That was the organization, the mass organization of industrial workers in factories and plants, and I might add hospitals, and government workers, and even service workers and hotel workers. The third phase, Marx predicted, in order for the revolutionary class struggle to progress, would have to be different, because by that time, the level of the productive forces would be completely different. It would be revolutionized tenfold. It would be completely global, completely revolutionized by technology, what we have today. And no union at that point could fight alone. All unions would have to fight together. As a matter of fact, all who are part of the working class, especially the most oppressed, especially immigrants, especially the unemployed, the women, they would have to fight together, not only on a national basis, but on an international basis, because this is what the revolution in the level of productive forces does. It changes the necessities for the working class. Occupy, you see the glimpse of that, because they have radicalized, they have helped radicalize the labor movement. And the mere fact that as head of the May 1st coalition, Teresa sat in a meeting, they called it the 4x4, where you had Occupy, you had the trade unions, you had the more progressive to revolutionary, socialist-oriented immigrant rights forces. You had the somewhat more moderate bourgeois democratic Marxist forces. That was the grouping that talked about May Day. At another time, a women's federation will sit there. At another time, the unemployed will have a seat. You see, this is the third phase of the class struggle that Marx envisioned. It would have to be more revolutionary, more anti-capitalist, more internationalist. It could not do its job unless it was these things. It would have to be a revolutionary workers' movement, the kind that I think Lalani was describing a few minutes ago. This is the direction that OWS is moving in, and finally, we should know that the ruling class is trying to stop it. There are two ways they're trying to stop it mostly. One is to suck them into the Democratic Party, take their independence away, and the other way is, if you can't suck them into the Democratic Party, isolate them and crush them with state repression. Marxism must defend this movement so it can be independent and realize its revolutionary potential.